welcome to the Green Sparks podcast. I'm Charlotte, your host, and this is your go-to place for conversations about regenerative education. Here we share inspiring stories from the Green School community, along with expert insights, all nurturing a love for living and learning that makes a positive difference to our shared worlds. Today, we've got a real treat in store because I'm going to be speaking to Ibu Ida about all of her amazing work with the farming, with the food curriculum, with the Green Studies curriculum here at Green School. So that's going to be our deep dive for this episode. So welcome to the show, Ida.
Thank you. I feel so privileged to be part of this. Thank you.
Well, the privilege is all ours. Now, we're going to ask you the first question, which is the question we ask all of our guests on this show, which is, who are you? And what difference are you trying to make to our shared worlds?
Well, I'm Ida. My name is Ida Rahayu, and I'm originally from Java, but I've lived in Bali for over 15 years now, and I love it, and I feel Bali is home to me right now. And what change I want to make? Well, I'm really passionate about food, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm still learning for myself. And then I would love to share whatever I learned with everyone, my students, the whole community, everyone that might be interested.
You seem to be somebody who's always got a lot of things going on. What actually is your official role here at Green School?
I teach middle school. So actually here I studied as a Bahasa Indonesia teacher. And then in 2020, I started teaching about green studies. So, until now. So I teach green studies in middle school only.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to have lots of people listening who are intrigued by what green studies is. Like, it doesn't sound like a traditional subject like maths or geography or history. So what's green studies?
Exactly. A lot of people, when they ask, like, what do you do? What do you teach? Like, green studies, like, how do I explain that? Okay. So this kind of, this subject, I believe that this is only a green school. And I believe green studies is what makes green school. I think, one of it. And what I learned originally, it's more about earth science, environmental science, and like being outside and just connect with nature. And then it's also enterprise. It's also what do you call it? It's kind of like a STEAM, but focusing more on the garden, focusing more in the earth science and the gardening. So that's originally green studies, but when I started green studies, teaching green studies, I designed it in a way that everything related to food.
Nice.
Because I believe that food is very complex and that there's so much connection that we can make through the food that we eat, through nature, through the society, through ourselves, importantly. So this is why, and there's so many things that we can talk about, that we can learn from food. Yeah. So it's from growing, from actually like producing, and then also from like what we do, like after what do like the waste, and also enterprises. There's so many things actually that we can do related to food.
And where does your passion for food come from? What's the spark for food for you?
Maybe I just love cooking. I love to help my mom when I was a kid also, and I just really enjoy it. And then when I studied cooking classes here, it was just a cooking class. It's like, okay, because we have jalan-jalan. I don't know.
Maybe just explain for our viewers, what is jalan-jalan?
So we started jalan-jalan. It's more like an experiential learning program. It's not like, so we have like 4 hours. The kids are doing a lot of different things that being offered. Like it could be diving, could be surfing. And then at that time, I was doing cooking. Okay. And then at the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, cooking class. And I just realized, well, we are at Green School. It's not only cooking, like from recipes. It's not only like, let's try this recipe, try that recipe. It's like, we're at Green School. I just trying to bring in, it's like, okay, maybe we cook in a way that we also nurture ourselves and nurture the planet. We're not only cooking. That's how it all started, how I designed this green studies to become a food education.
So let's talk about the program then at Green School, the food program. I'm not sure, the Green Studies program. Really bring this alive for our listeners right now to give us an idea of the different things you're involved in.
Well, yeah, like from then I thought that's like, okay, I shouldn't be teaching only just cooking. And then I took a course, actually, it was a permaculture design course with Central Queensland University for my capstone project. Then I went deeper into like, wow, there's a lot of impacts or a lot of learning in food, that food has a lot of impacts, not only for our health, but also to the society and the environment. So that's how I started designing green studies using those principles, the permaculture principles. So like starting from grade 6, I started this program, like when I was actually taking the course, I designed this as a just like for jalan-jalan, not only cooking, and then I combined it with gardening as well. So it's gardening seeds to table. That's what I called it. So seeds to table, like from growing into cooking.
Okay.
And then when I started teaching green studies, and I designed it in a way, it's like, okay, from growing itself, there's a lot of elements in the growings that we can learn. And then, like, what about the ecosystem that create our food or that produce our food? There's a lot to learn. There's animals, etc. And then, what about when we consume our food, our body, how our body works, etc. There's a lot of nutrition learning in there. And then also, enterprise should be also big part of it, because like, when we eat in restaurants, like how can we create a restaurant that is, it that has a positive impact as well, not only for us, but also for the environment and society. So then from the one-term program, Seeds to Table, I designed it in a way that it's now a 3-year program of green studies for grade 6, grade 7, and grade 8. So grade 6, more working with like, understanding the soil, like how the diversity in the soil, this microorganisms, this a diverse life in the soil is actually impacting the food that we eat. And it's connected to our gut. Right. When they're in grade 7, they're learning about the gut microbiome, is how the biodiversity in our gut as well, what makes us thrive. Right. It's the same thing. If we eat from the soil that is rich in this life, it will nourish our gut.
Right.
So so this is very important and for us to understand, because I feel like we're really disconnected with the food that we eat right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't even know, sometimes you don't even know what you're eating when you go to restaurants. Like, what is this? You go to supermarkets, stay away from the supermarket. This is what I always tell my students. If you can, please just go to a farmer's market, or as natural as possible. And there is so much ingredients there that you don't even know what it is. And you have no idea how that would impact your body, let alone the planet. It have a huge impact on the planet as well.
I mean, there's so much richness in what you've just said. I'd like to just pick up on a few of these points, if that's okay. We've had other conversations on the podcast where other educators at the Green School Bali have said that what's really important for them is that their passions and their interests come into their teaching. And so when we're thinking about regenerative education, it's so important that the teachers have that kind of space to weave in their like most passionate or expert areas into the students' learning experiences. Because I'm just listening to you now and like you're making me really excited about food. What do you think about that, working in a school that gives you so much space to develop this food curriculum?
This is like, to be honest, I don't know, like if I had to work somewhere else, if I can do this. Is like, I feel so grateful to have this opportunity. This is really my passion. Like I really, and I can say there is still a lot for me to learn. What I can say, if I had to teach cooking classes in a different school, I wouldn't have thought to bring this connection to nature.
Right.
Because I'm at Green School. I was at Green School when I started this program. And then that got me into thinking like there has to be connection with what we believe in here, with what mission we have here, what our vision is.
Right.
So that's why I feel so thankful. It's life-changing. To be honest, working at Green School is life-changing for me.
Yeah.
And again, I really want to bring this passion, and I really believe that food is such an important education to be taught in hopefully all schools around the world. Like understanding these connections is really important. Just not connection with the food itself, but connection to ourselves. Like how do we feel when we eat this?
Right.
How do we feel? What do we need? How our body works? What do we need in order to thrive? And then what do we need in order what we eat is also nurturing, not only nurturing society and also society around us in nature.
Yeah.
And also there's so much, like I said, there's so much science, there's so much math, if you say, and it's so much cultural things that you can learn from food.
Yeah.
So like what we have here in grade 6, they're learning about only like growing, not only just growing, they're learning about medicinal plants, for example, like how the Balinese actually use these plants to heal themselves.
Right.
Trying to, like what can we find in nature that's actually heal us and nurture us.
Yeah.
And being less independent to the modern medicine.
Yeah.
And then also connecting to the animals, how these animals is part of our ecosystem that provide our food. The bees, the chickens, or the cows, not only that it's not that they can eat them, but like the composting and the bees, the pollinations, and all of this, all the insects, they're all part of our food, and then how we take care of them as well.
Yeah.
And then also one big thing, which is also my favorite in Green Studies, which is that I do this with grade 8, that they're focusing more on enterprise. They actually manage their own business around food. Not only food business, but also how is the food is actually nutritious, nourishing the society, of course themselves, the society, and also it's healthy for the planet.
Yeah. Oh, it's so exciting. Amazing. And I love the fact that all of this around us right now, this isn't decoration. All of this is like one big classroom. And I love how you're saying that, you feel connected to all these spaces, the soils, the trees, the flowers, the animals, and so on. Like you're learning how to coexist in this particular place, and how it has actually inspired you as a teacher to think about different opportunities for learning. And so makes you think about all these like boundaries that we think there are between us and the natural world. Because what you're showing is that these are just perceptions, we just think they exist. But you're showing how to bring the outside in and the inside outside through food, which I think is really exciting.
If I'm not wrong, so what you're trying to say is like that we are nature.
Yeah.
We are part of it, like we shouldn't separate ourselves in nature.
Totally.
Like what we eat is also connected. We could be food for nature. When we die, we will be food for all these microorganisms in the soil. We're gonna go back to the soil. So this life cycle, and we are part of it. It's not that we're eating these animals or these plants because we're separate or we're superior. Then no, we are part of it.
Yes.
When you die, you'll be eaten.
Yeah.
So we are part of it. We are in the cycle of nature.
And this campus is just a great way to really show this, right? Okay, so tell us about some of the projects that the students actually do as part of this curriculum.
Yeah, like definitely gardening and the cooking, the enterprise, fermentation as well is a big part of it when they learn about nutrition and gut microbiome. So with grade 7, we do a fermentation fair, fermentation project. Green Warong project is a big part of it, which is what I explained earlier about the creating a business.
Yes.
Yeah, the restaurant.
That's so cool.
And then also they also create their own product. Like before the Warong, it's a work as a collaborative work with the peer. They actually individually also creating a product, and they learn how to market it. They learn how, like, what about the packaging, the healthy, sustainable packaging, let's say. So they have to create their own product in a way, again, it's nutritious and sustainable. Also, I do, apart from this Green Studies program, I do also teach ISU, Integrated Studies Unit. And then again, I also connect that with food because again, it's my passion.
Yeah.
And 4-week program that they learn intensively about whatever project that is being offered. The same like Jalan-Jalan, but it's longer, like it's for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I did one like farm to table fine dining. So I connect with the fine dining restaurants, the local fine dining restaurants that is also doing farm to table. So understanding is like only using local ingredients and organically and locally sourced grown ingredients. And they, it's such incredible how they learn from the real, like the expert, like of like fine dining. They loved it, and then they create their own fine dining, a pop-up fine dining restaurant.
Wow.
It was incredible. Recently, for my ISU, I took the kids to learn about this indigenous Balinese culture to capture about like. Well, it's not only about food, but it's more like the way of life of protecting nature.
Yeah.
So it's like preserving the forest, and then a big one also. Actually, we went to North Bali. There is this restaurant that is also, they only use ingredients like fresh ingredients, which is we also captured like what is the local wisdom from this. So this restaurant actually only, for example, if they cook fish, only freshly caught fish from the ocean. Like in the morning, actually, we went to the beach and we found a fisherman, and then we actually got the fisherman with the fish, and then we brought it back to the kitchen, to the restaurant, and then we cooked it. And we learned how to cook with the ancient way of Balinese, using those the firewood. And this village is incredible. Also, we learned about how they make their own sugar. They make their own salt, which is an artisanal way to make salt as well. There's a lot to learn there. And then that made us realize like how what we have right now, what we eat, the sugar we consume, the salt we consume, there's so much toxic that is actually in there. And then how this traditional way that is being handled with a lot of love is not only tastes good, but it really feels good when we eat it. It's very nurturing.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
So
yes, learn from the indigenous, learn from our ancestors is another way to learn about food.
And these practices may have obviously reduced with modernization, but they still are happening here on the island.
Yes, totally.
Brilliant. Wow. That brings me on to another thought that I've been having while I've listened to you, and also as part of our other podcasts, is the importance of connecting with community. Now, you've mentioned a little bit about the indigenous communities in the north of the island, and you mentioned, the pop-up fine dining event. Were there any other members of the community, either immediately here in the Green School community or beyond, that you have collaborated with the students? Because I feel that that's a really important part of regenerative education that we could just like emphasize just for a moment.
Yes, totally. Big time with farmers. Actually, I did also one ISU, which is biodynamic farming. It's something that we need to go deeper because it's beyond organic. It's regenerative. And so yes, I do connect with farmers and how these farmers actually supply some of our ingredients. So when we do Green Warong project, the enterprise food business, then I would connect the students with these farmers instead of going to the other vendors. Well, what we can find, as much as possible, we try to use ingredients from these farmers.
Okay.
So yes, collaborating with the farmers in Bali, especially, and then also I'm in search more on like connecting to those not just farmers, like what do you call it, like also already like producing, like people who makes, let's say, makes sugar or makes a vinegar or like something like that. And then I would opt to these vendors to go to, that knowing, for example, let's say chocolate. So I did connect with the chocolate factory, which is locally grown here and organic, and what's ingredient in it. I did connect with them, and then that's where we get our chocolate from. It's not just like from random supermarket or something like that.
So it seems like you're really teaching the children, and you're really showing the children and the young people here these supply chains as well, and that it's just like so limitless. It's not just a curriculum that any other school would actually create. Like, it's very specific to this particular place, and it's so deeply a part of so many different ecosystems. And I love how you're making that really clear through food. You know, like, we all love food. We eat it
3 times a day.
Exactly. And the
sometimes
snacks
5 times.
and more. And so what an exciting kind of stimulus for the young people here to understand systems thinking and their part within those systems.
Big time. Big time.
So I'd like to speak now about, you know, the students and their reactions to these kind of learning experiences. How do they respond, and what could you say about their levels of engagement?
Well, I can say the love cooking classes.
Yeah.
I love it. Sometimes like it was like jalan-jalan, and then they like, guys, it's break time. It's like, it's okay. I don't need to go to break. I'm just gonna stay here and cook. Anyway, yes, engagement. Actually, they are a lot. They're quite intrigued also, like how our body, like learning about how our body works, like how different plants, different color bring nutrients, and they're quite intrigued. And then what I'm trying to say here is I cannot make a change. I cannot change them. I do share all of this with them. However, the change is with themselves. You know, like one time I was teaching, so basically I brought in a lot of packaged food, and then I shared with them, and then so to read the ingredients, what's actually in it. So I try to make sure that those snacks that the kids would love to eat. And then at the end of class, so we learn about, like, okay, what ingredients in this, what ingredient in that, etc., and where it is made. Is it locally? Is it produced in Indonesia or in other country? And then at the end of the class, one of my students came to me. It's like, you know, Ibu Ida, I'm still gonna eat some of this stuff, right? Like, and I said, well, I just shared with you, and whether you make a change or not, it's your choice. It's your body that you work with. So I cannot change you. It's your choice, but you understand that impacts onto your body and the environment. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I cannot change anyone.
Yeah.
So what I love to do is I just want to give them inspirations. Although I can say some parents came to me and it's like, oh my God, how my kids now change. They love cooking. Oh, how, like, we went to the supermarket and then, hey, Mom, we cannot buy this. This is not local. Mom, we cannot buy this. Look at the ingredients and something like that. There are some parents that came to me, how they appreciate what the kids are learning here related to food and green studies. So there are impacts, I would say.
That's the change, isn't it? That's the transformation.
That's the change. And And I believe, even though they don't change right now, because I do understand there's so much advertisement out there that these kids would eat those kind of food. But there are, I'm pretty sure at some point in their lives, they'll remember what they learned here.
Yeah, definitely. And do they ever come to you with ideas for future, experiences or units? Do they ever like ask questions that maybe you don't know the answer to, or like, is there a partnership at all in terms of how you
Definitely.
design this curriculum?
Definitely. One time I was like, what is vitamin K? What is it for? It's like, oh, actually, I need to figure out, I need to find out about that. So I'm learning.
Yeah.
Actually, a big one is actually, I was teaching medicinal plants. And then we talk a lot, when we talk about medicine, we talk like, oh, this is anti-inflammatory. And I was like, wait, do you understand what inflammation is? Why do we need anti-inflammatory?
Yeah.
And then it took me time to actually learn about it. And then now I'm teaching it.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I didn't know. So I didn't know when I started teaching green studies about what inflammation is or antioxidant, because when we talk about medicinal plants, there's a lot of like, or food actually, there's a lot, what is antioxidant? You can ask yourself, what is antioxidant?
Yeah.
And it's actually, they all make sense, like after understanding all this. So yes, these questions come from students, and sometimes the students came to me and like, oh, is this plant good? Like my sister's not feeling well. I want to make this at home for my sister. Like, is this plant good? So like something like that. I'm glad they came to me and it's like, yes, and that makes me feel so happy. Like they are naturally they're doing it. Like they don't even realize that this is like what they learned, and I think this is kind of an impact that
definitely
makes me really happy.
And rousing their curiosities more and more about the world around them because of food.
Yes.
I love that. So our podcast is all about regenerative education, right? What's your understanding? Because you bring something slightly different to the conversation. Yes, there's the food, but you've also mentioned like the indigenous communities here and the ancient wisdoms and the medicine that is naturally in our earth. And so no one else has really spoken about this. So I'm really interested to know what you think, what your understanding is of regenerative education.
What I understand, well, like when we talk about regenerative farming, it's like how we create a system that is thrive on its own. Like regenerative farming is like how the forest would look like. So regenerative education is also, I believe that it's like how to keep all this biodiversity, keep all these connections within it. And I feel this is a regenerative education because there's a lot of connections, relationship, not only within ourselves, within the society, not only society right now, but society in the past, from our indigenous, and this connect to the society in the future.
Yes.
Definitely. And also, of course, not just society, nature as well, like how we connect with nature, and also how we can have this nature flourish, not us killing it. So this, I think, big time in connections within ourselves, the society, not only in the in the current society, but in the past, in the future, and also nature.
I'm really glad that you have made those points about time, that it's important to be mindful and to be in the moment and to listen and to feel, but it's also important to think about the past and these future generations. So it's like there's a balance there between being present in the here and now, but also thinking about, well, what are we inheriting from our earth systems, and what are we going to be leaving as a legacy for these futures? And not just humans as well. Like the way you speak is you're not necessarily always putting humans at the center. It's about the humans in a system with other life, and how we all live and breathe and eat together.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally, because we are not the only living being here.
Yeah.
There's this insects, there's the earth, there's the microorganisms. There's massive. We are like only tiny bit part of the earth.
Yes.
And you know what? Like one that fascinates me a lot lately is microorganisms. How it's in us, on us, around us, everywhere. And without them, we cannot live.
Yes.
And we are nothing compared to them.
Mm.
So, yes, human.
Yeah. Well, we are.
We got to be humble. We got to be
Yeah.
more humble. Yes, we are ecosystem. We are part of it. We are
Yeah.
not superior to
Yeah.
any other
Yeah.
thing.
I
So,
love that. And people might not be able to see this, or you certainly those viewers who are just listening. We actually do have some little chicks, some little chickens that are foraging around us. So that seems quite timely that they're part of the conversation. So I guess final question then, Ibu Ida, is where do you see the future of this green studies or food curriculum going? Like, how do you see this evolving? Because you've got different students all the time. You've got these tried and tested units that are like a huge success. How are you going to keep growing and nurturing this program?
well, it has been evolving. You know, I can say Green Studies, middle school Green Studies right now is quite different than Green Studies 2 years ago,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
maybe last year. And again, like I'm a kind of person that never stops learning myself. I learn from my students. I learn from the community. I learn from everywhere, whatever I can. I love learning. And then from then, that's how it developed. And then I'm pretty sure it's gonna keep going. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's gonna come in front of me, what I'm going to learn. But I believe that this is part of regeneration. It's part of
Yeah.
evolution. So there's gonna be more and in Green Studies, but it's still gonna be related to food, but there's gonna be a lot more to learn, or maybe in a way that is, I know, I think it can be better. It can be
Yeah.
better, or it will change, and I don't know.
And evolve.
It will evolve. It will keep evolving. It's been evolving, and then it will keep evolving because we are evolving.
And so it is a living curriculum here at
Yes,
Green School, isn't
exactly.
it? So
Yes.
I think that is like such a nice place to end this.
Yeah.
It's about leaving the space for the what ifs.
And then also when you're talking about like, you know, like it's a living ecosystem and we don't live ourselves. Like we are connected with, when we talk about we connected with the society around us, there's so much happening around the society and we have to adapt. That's why also here at Green School we have band like bamboo or like, you know, like
Yeah.
just adapt is one of the skills that
Yes.
is very important
Yeah,
for us.
particularly
Yeah.
as our planet is changing so rapidly.
Yes.
It's important our education is also changing to meet that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for bringing your passion for food onto the Green Spark podcast today.
Thank
It's been
you.
brilliant hearing all about it. And I feel like I need to go and cook or like look at a little bit more closely at where my vegetables are coming from. But I do always buy organic, I have to say that. So thank you for all those reminders, Ida, and all the best with the future plans, Green Studies curriculum and
Thank you.
food.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much to all of our listeners for joining us on this episode. Do make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. All of the details are in the post, and make sure you tune in for the next episode on the Green Sparks podcast. Thank you.